Meeting. Today is the 8th. It is 9 o'clock, and we are at 101 North Santa Maria Avenue, Suite 200, Karnes City, Texas, 78118. We do have a quorum present, so let's stand for a prayer and pledge, and we'll get started.
Dear God, please forgive us for being impatient and fill us with your spirit so that we are more inclined to ask that your will be done instead of asking that our own desires be fulfilled. And we ask that you please bring us the gift of rain. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic for which it stands, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Item number 5 this morning is citizens to be heard. Ms. Sweezy, do we have any citizens signed up to speak this morning? Okay. Okay.
Morning, gentlemen. How y'all doing? I'm doing all right, thank you. This budget hearing y'all fixing to have is gonna encompass a lot of things. I hope and pray that y'all use good judgment. You've used some good judgment in the past on some things. I still struggle to find some of that, but that's not a slight either way. That's just how I see it. If you're gonna give raises, which I think a lot of employees deserve, as far as I'm concerned, I hope that y'all do not include yourself in that percentage. Y'all just got one. I don't feel that it's, you can call it cost of living or whatever, but y'all just got one. I don't think that's right. But you're going to do what you're going to do, and that's pretty evident to everybody. So, and I know I ain't your favorite person to get up here and all that, and I'm okay with that. I got big shoulders. But I don't think it's necessary. I really don't. I've yet to understand, I was going to ask Mr. Geisler, Road and Bridge, Mr. Geisler, why the people only came by and did one swipe next to the road and left the rest of the grass when I've seen them do it before every now and then, but that's not normally done on a regular basis. I don't understand that. They call me the Longhorn Whisperer. Some of my cows do. They get out. They want their reparations. They want some of that grass. So one thing I do want to say is I'd like to publicly show my appreciation to the sheriff's office for coming out there and having people come out, their deputies come out and push them back in or double check, because it's my responsibility, but they get out. But anyway, I know I'm coming up on my 3 minutes, but one more thing. Oh, there he is. One more thing. The inability to answer for where funds are spent, that ultimately y'all are responsible for knowing where the money goes. It shouldn't take a month to find out when it was already asked for previously twice. It took a third time for y'all to have court for it to show up. $500,000, and none of y'all asked him where it went. It took to a third meeting to get y'all that information. That's unacceptable. How y'all accept that, I will never understand. Y'all have a good day.
Thank you, Mr. Shockley. Item number 6, discuss, approve, disapprove, a resolution authorizing county grant program year 2024 Texans Feeding Texans Home Delivered Meal Grant Program. Bonnie Surratt, Comal County Senior Citizens Foundation Funding Development. Bonnie Surratt here? No? Okay, do we have that? Do have the resolution, and so if she's not gonna come, then I can read this. Let me get it out, get it closer to my eyes. Okay. This is a resolution authorizing the county grant program year 2024, resolution of the County of Karnes, Texas, certifying that the county has made a grant to Comal County Senior Citizens Foundation Organization, an organization that provides home-delivered meals to homebound persons in the county who are elderly and/or have a disability, and certifying that the county has approved the organization's accounting system or fiscal agent. Whereas the organization seeks to apply for grant funds from the Texas Department of Agriculture to supplement and extend existing services for homebound persons in the county who are elderly and/or have a disability pursuant to the Home Delivered Meal Grant Program. Whereas the program rules require that the county in which the organization is providing home-delivered meal services to make a grant to the organization in order for the organization to be eligible to receive program grant funds. And whereas the program rules further require the county approve the organization's accounting system or fiscal agent in order for the organization to be eligible to receive program grant funds. Be it resolved by the county, Section 1, the county hereby certifies that it has made a grant to the organization in the amount of X dollars. Do we know the dollar amount, Tom? We do? What is? Okay. And that will be used between the 1st of October 2023 and the 30th of September 2024. Section 2, the county hereby certifies that the organization provides home-delivered meals to homebound persons in the county who are elderly and/or have a disability. In Section 3, the county hereby certifies that it has approved the organization's accounting system or fiscal agent which meets financial management system as set forth in the Texas Grant Management Standards promulgated by the Texas Comptroller of Public Accounts. Introduced, read, and passed by the affirmative vote of the county on this 8th day of August 2023. So, before I sign that, we need a motion to approve or disapprove that.
Judge Etkin Court, I move that we approve this resolution for the of the food distribution of the home meals. A second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Anybody opposed? No, motion carries. Oh, there's that one. Okay, item number 7, discuss, approve, disapprove presentation of annual local match for the Karnes County by Camino Real Community Services. Sherry Bosher, Executive Assistant for Camino. Sherry, hello.
Good morning.
Welcome.
I'm Deanne Poppy. I am the Director of Mental Health Services for Camino Real. I believe that you have some information on our local match requirement. So because Camino Real is funded by Health and Human Services and we receive general revenue funding, the counties that are in our service system are 9 counties. We have a local match requirement from all of those counties. And so Camino Real is asking for your continued support. There is a letter. The request for this year is $28,728. And that's Karnes County has done this for many years, and so we're just asking for your continued support. We provide the mental health and intellectual and developmental disability services in Karnes County, crisis services, and then all of our outpatient services for mental health as well. So.
Camino does a wonderful job in the county, and it is probably underfunded and understaffed for the amount of need that
Yes.
exists for a program like y'all's. And so we're happy to support. I presented that to, I will present that this afternoon to the commissioners, but I've
Okay.
included it in the budget.
All right. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Ma'am,
So,
need a motion to approve. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Anybody opposed? No, motion carries. Item number 8, discuss, approve, disapprove reappointment of Commissioner Shelby Dubnik to Camino Real Community Service Board of Trustees for Karnes County. This appointment is a 2-year term. Deanne?
yes. So our board is made up of a member from every one of our 9 counties that we serve, and so the county judge appoints that person. It should be a member of their community. The term of the appointment is for 2 years, And so we are recommending Commissioner Dupnick to continue on that board.
Absolutely. Shelby does a wonderful job on that board,
Yes,
so
he does.
appreciate him serving.
Judge, if I may, I would like to recognize Sheriff Villanueva. He is the what do you call it, the
He's an ex officio.
ex officio of the deal, of the thing, and that's due to the legislature created that position, I believe. And Dwayne's been so far, he's only been the law enforcement department that's been representing.
Yes, and he's been a very active member, and we really appreciate that as well.
I'll make the motion to approve item number 8 as presented.
Okay, got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Anybody opposed? All right.
Right, thank you.
Jen. Item number 9, acknowledge Karnes County dental and vision insurance plans will be moving from Humana to our current Guardian provider. This is no action is required, however, Bonnie, our HR, will present.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. So basically, like Judge said, this is just an acknowledgement to let you guys know that we are moving from Humana to Guardian for our dental and our vision insurance plans. It's just to let you all know. Inadvertently, last time, whenever all the insurance, the health benefits were presented, that was left off. So we just have to go through the chains and just let you all know this. Thank you all.
Okay, item number 10, discuss, approve, disapprove regional public defender for capital cases fiscal year 2024, 2025. That's the interlocal agreement through Lubbock County. If we had a capital case, something we do every year, a capital murder case, we pay an apportionment, a prorated apportionment for every county. And I think ours is 7, is it that much? I don't remember exactly what it is, but should the event happened that there was a capital murder here, and the county had to foot the bill for an attorney to represent a capital murder, you could be deep into our pocketbooks for that. So if that does happen, God forbid that does happen, this is what we contribute to Lubbock for.
Motion to approve item number 10 as presented.
I'll second it.
Okay, got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Anybody opposed? No. Motion carries. Item number 11, discuss, approve, disapprove. Kennedy Public Library is requesting budget amendment to transfer $3,000 from GL 250-653-4352 automation/technology to GL 251-653-3350, the Memorial Fund, for the purpose of painter contract and painting materials. I know that we tried to get this on the last one, Sylvia, but did not. End of the year budget amendment time. Donna? Sylvia?
Just that the Kennedy Library has 3,258 in their automation and technology, and they would like to move 3,000 of that to the line item 650-633-3350, the Memorial Fund, so they can purchase for painting and contract materials because they're redoing the library.
Summer's over and the kids are back in school today.
Well, some.
Oh,
We do say, from that memorial money, we do have, some remaining funds, but we're gonna need the extra to be able to cover the contractor, the painter, and buy extra, the supplies. But we are using some of the memorial money. Most of it's going for our flooring, and then the rest of it's gonna go for our paint job. Okay.
excited for it. All our libraries do such a wonderful job.
Yep. Judge,
Yes,
you ready for motion?
yes, sir.
Judge, I move that the Kennedy Public Library be allowed to transfer $1,500 from GL account number,
$3,000,
I mean, this is, sorry, I was wrong. My right eye must have got away from me. Transfer $3,000 from GL 250-653-4352 automation technology to GL 251-653-3350 Memorial for the purpose of a painter contract and painting materials.
Motion and a second. All those in favor, signify by raising your right hand. Anybody opposed? No. Motion carries. Item number 12, discuss, approve, disapprove. Kennedy Public Library is requesting a budget amendment to transfer $1,500 from GL account number 250-653-5720, that's equipment line item, to GL account number 250-653-3102, supplies for supply purchases. Sylvia, Donna?
Approximately, they have like $2,400 in their equipment budget, and they would like to move 1,500 from that to their supplies, which they have only like about $800 in.
Actually, it's a little over, because I
Yeah.
keep, on my ledger, and the only reason that is because we just completed inventory in the month of July, and so we have to print out all those, titles and stuff, so we used a lot of paper, and we want to make sure we make it through the end of the fiscal year, so just want to keep a little bit of monies in there.
Yes, ma'am. Action item, we need a motion.
Make the motion, approve item number 12 as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, motion and a second. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Anybody opposed? No. Thank you, ladies. Item number 13 is y'all's as well. So to
Yep.
discuss, approve, disapprove, Falls City Public Library is requesting a budget amendment to transfer $1,000 from line item 250-651-5720, that's equipment, to line item 250-651-5900, books. So we may purchase more books for the library. Pretty
We-
self-explanatory.
Yes. We have approximately $1,596 in equipment line item, and we would just like to move 1,000 from that to our books line item, which we only have about $760 in, so we can purchase more books.
Judge, I will move that we allow the Falls City Public Library to transfer $1,000 from line item 250-651-5720 equipment to line item 250-651-5900 books.
I'll second.
City Yard roll-up door opener. Mr. Montalvo.
Good morning, gentlemen. We got hit hard this year for EMS in Kennedy. In the beginning of the year, it started out with generator repairs, which took a nice chunk, and then it went into their they got 6 big garage roll-up doors there, and we've been having trouble all year with all those 6 doors, basically, almost. So that took another big chunk, and a lot of work we've been doing on that building. Took a huge chunk out of my building repairs this year, so I've been coming up a little bit short on some. These have all been emergency repairs, which were unforeseen, as well as, that's why I'm asking for this $5,000 to get me through the year for our next budget, to finish that repair, replacing the remote door opener for one of the garage doors.
What's the total amount for that, do you know? I mean, it's under $5,000, but this
It's
is gonna
like 412, right around there, 4,000, 1,220.
give you a
around
little
there.
slack. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what contingency fund is for unforeseen circumstances like this, so you need to get that door fixed.
It's been a rough year for the EMS.
I'll make the motion to approve item number 14 as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Anybody opposed? No. Motion carries. Thank you,
Thank you.
Renee. Item number 15, discuss, approve, disapprove a resolution proposed by TxDOT concerning an existing bridge structure on County Road 230, that's National Bridge Inventory number 16-129-0-AA02-30-0001. I want to be the guy that does the naming of the bridge inventory. Commissioner Lissy and Mr. Geisler.
Yes, this is another resolution we need to pass so that TxDOT can develop us an advanced funding agreement. It's very similar to the one we did a couple of courts ago for the Wafford's Crossing. This is going to be 100% funded by TxDOT. They just have to develop an agreement, and they need this resolution to start that process.
Mr. Geisler,
Yes, sir.
what road?
County Road 230.
Okay, and that's at just Jehovah, isn't it?
Yes, sir. It's the one that runs between County Road 237 over to Sestahoba.
Okay, I just want to make sure, 'cause you said Walker Crossing, and I just kind
Oh,
of,
Similar, he said
It was
similar
the-
to.
okay, I
Yes,
just,
the resolution
I
is
just want to
similar.
make sure we.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Pardon me.
I'll move that we approve item 15 as stated.
Okay, got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Anybody opposed?
Thank you.
Motion carries. Here's that one. Item number 16, discuss, approve, disapprove adoption of the 2023 Karnes County Investment Policy and Strategies Investment Committee and appointment of investment officer Tom Dupnick.
Okay, Court, good morning. So this is the same investment policy that I developed a couple years ago. The only change to it is Jennifer Dillingham is now our district judge, so she's no longer county attorney, so we added Mr. Chapman in her place. And then I updated Fernando Polito's address now that he has an office in Marble Falls.
Fernando's the one that presented last week, is that correct?
Sir?
Is that the man that presented last?
Yes, yes, and I'm gonna try to get him here at the next court to kind of give us an overview of what we have done with his firm.
Okay.
But you'll need to appoint someone as investment officer.
You and I were the investment officers, correct?
Right. I think you'll have to make a motion for.
I know.
Who else, who's all on the committee?
Okay, it's on page here, let's see here, Commissioner, you should have so it's myself as being the chairman of the advisory committee, Mr. Chapman. We have a citizen from the outside, which is Eric Copiello, who's an attorney in Austin, landowner here, Carol Sweezy, our county clerk, Commissioner Benny Lissy, and then we have an outside firm, Dusty Trailer, he's with RBC Capital as an advisory member. He did our bond for us in Wilson County, so we have two good investment folks that give us the right direction or guide us right. And we're very conservative on our investments. We're not doing anything drastic, so.
Who were the previous?
The only change was just Judge Dillingham, and we replaced with Mr. Chapman.
That's the only change from last year?
Yes, sir, that's the only change, and other than changing Fernando's address
Very good.
to his new office.
I move that we approve the adoption of the 2023 Karnes County Investment Policy and Strategies Investment Committee and the investment officer.
Okay, got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Anybody opposed? Motion carried. Item number 17, discuss, approve, disapprove the Chapman Firm for management/coordination of professional services related to foundation repairs at the Karnes County Jail located at 500 East Wall, Karnes City, Texas, 78118, at a cost not to exceed $10,000. Shelby Dupnick.
Judge, court, as y'all know, there is several issues with the foundation of the jail, and we need to get it fixed. It's, you got boxes that are pulling apart, and I think the Sally Port's pulling apart from the main jail. And we're gonna need to do something with this jail before we get into a position that we can't do nothing with it. The Chapman Firm, has represented the county in the jail issue that we had prior with the construction. And I, just talking with, Mr. Chapman one day, that feels that he might be a good fit for it, because otherwise he knows exactly what we've gone through within that jail.
He spoke to me last night, Judge, in court. He said he was gonna be here this morning, so, he said he'd be here to do a presentation this morning. I'm not sure if he's running late or what's going on, but anyway, he said he was gonna be here. So he asked for me to tell the court he would be here this morning, so I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I can go phone him right quick. Do you wanna do this, maybe pass on this, or,
Judge,
Yeah, if you want to give him a shout.
I'm sorry?
If you want to give him a call,
Yeah, let me call. We can see if he is gonna come.
because he's on the next one as well.
Consent
I
agenda.
also talked to him yesterday, and he said he was gonna be here.
Hope he's not billing us for all these phone calls that he's taking. Keep an eye on that, because he doesn't miss a billing opportunity.
Our attorney that does.
Judge, he's here, he just pulled up, walking up the stairs, so he'll be right here. You want to go to another item maybe or something?
Yeah, we'll wait for him.
Okay.
Morning, Mr. Chapman.
I understand it's my turn.
Yes, sir.
Okay, how are y'all?
Wanted to give you lots of time for preparation.
What's that?
We wanted to give you a lot of time for
I
preparation.
appreciate it. Are we on 17?
We are on 17.
Okay, so I just learned about the issues with the, current issues with the jail last week. Talked to the chief yesterday about it. I understand we have some problems with the Sallyport area and the retaining wall, and probably some drainage issues back there. So one thing I was asked to think about, and what I would propose to y'all, in connection with the work we're doing at the annex, we need to do a geotech evaluation to understand why the soils are moving. I've contacted Terracon, which is the geotech firm that did the original geotech work at the annex. They're supposed to get me a proposal later today for the additional study on the annex that I'll discuss in the next agenda item. My proposal would be, let me contact them, find out what they would propose as far as a study and a geotechnical investigation for behind the jail, to have them tell us what the soil conditions are as to why there's a heave or some sort of movement of the soil that's creating the conditions back there. Then I would also suggest that we, and I can go back to Thornton Tomasetti for additional information, but I would suggest that we have the same structural engineers who are doing the work at the annex come and help us with the jail. Zach Cates, who is leading that effort, is an engineer I've worked with multiple times, and I just recently, about 6 or 8 months ago, engaged with him on a retaining wall repair situation, very similar to what we have behind the jail. It seems like he's got the experience, and I've worked with him, and he's got the technical capability to do that for us. As y'all know, I think from the last meeting when the bills were discussed, the total effort that Thornton Tomasetti has thus far in doing their initial preliminary evaluation for the annex is about $19,000. I would expect a similar amount for the jail, but I can certainly get that information and get an estimate from them and from Terracon and come back and present those agreements to y'all for a review and approval before we get started. But it would seem to me that the process for the evaluation of those conditions at the jail needs to start with the geotechnical evaluation. And part of the reason I say that is because when we did the original jail project and then the completion effort with the surety and the post-completion litigation, we did evaluate the structural components of the building, and at that time there was no movement. And so we didn't believe there was anything structural with respect to the design or the construction that was at issue. And from what it sounds like, in my talking with the chief yesterday, it sounds like we have some drainage and some soil conditions at the rear of the jail that need to be further evaluated. That the actual building itself, where the beds are housed, isn't moving. It's the sally port and the rear drive area that is the major problem. And that, of course, is where all the water drains back towards that railroad swell. So I think those are the issues we're dealing with, and I think that a geotech and engineering study to evaluate the movement and come up with recommendations for repair for the jail would seem to be the appropriate path forward. Any questions about that from me?
How much money did we recover from the jail litigation
During the lawsuit.
during the lawsuit? You probably don't remember. But we can break that out. Do you remember the amount?
I don't. I can look at my computer and find out. I don't remember exactly.
It was 3 million?
In that area, that all, yes.
It was several million.
Yeah.
I know we had issues, if y'all recall, we had issues with the contractor's insurance
oh, yeah.
carrier. I mean,
Yeah.
so, yeah, and we also got some money in the settlement with Daily Spear
Correct.
for the encroachment in the railroad tower,
Correct.
I mean, the jail tower issue as well. So I don't know how much those were, but I can certainly provide a complete accounting.
I know that the one was 3 million-ish, and, as long as we separate that out, for the jail. It's obvious the jail has some problems, hopefully, like you said, with where the beds are and all of that. If that's not a problem, hopefully we can get just the Sallyport area.
Judge, as part of that study, could we get that expanded a little bit? I'm not sure what their geotech was, or maybe it will lead to that, but the wiring that runs underneath there, the cameras, all of that stuff, the gates, we can't use gates because they're tied shut. And all that's related to that Sallyport pulling away from the building.
Absolutely.
So I'm not sure exactly what his geotech guy's gonna do, but while we're doing this, all of that stuff runs underneath that deal. So that's just something I wanted to bring to your attention.
Absolutely.
Right now, we have a lot of equipment that's not working.
Yeah, I mean, the geotechnical evaluation will tell us how the soil is moved. As part of the further structural and then completion effort to fix and repair everything that's going on, I think we would certainly address every deficiency that is being caused by the movement, such as the gates not functioning, the wiring not functioning, the system's not working because of the movement, presumably. If there are other issues, we can certainly evaluate those as well. But from what you're telling me, Chief, it sounds like it's all a symptom of the movement and the separation of the rear soils in the Sallyport area.
Absolutely.
Jeff, and also the way our luck's been going lately with the inmates we have in custody, one of these days, we may have to extend that jail.
Right, and so that's another factor that I was just discussing with the chief with respect to the potential impact and need to increase the number of beds. The original design, as Commissioner Lissi and I discussed yesterday, has the footprint and the outline for the location of that expansion. And so as part of the evaluation of the current facility, we would make sure that Zach and his team evaluated the structural capacity of the original area and the geotechnical considerations and concerns for that expansion project to make sure it could handle the extra load from the additional beds if we needed to do that.
Yeah.
And depending on, right, depending on what y'all wanted to do, we could include that scope in the proposal, and I could provide an option for us to consider the initial current problems and also an evaluation for future expansion.
And I want it broken down like that for the taxpayers to see that, hey, we're using these monies that we did get in litigation as a settlement for the jail to repair that. The new would need to be adding on would be.
Stuff that they
Mhm.
are for 96 beds.
Right.
So that would be to the advantage of
Yes.
whoever's going to look at it. The kitchen, all the laundry, everything is designed for 96 beds.
Right.
So it would just actually be, so that would be Jeff and them's advantage. It would help them out. Those plans are there. We do have.
Yeah.
So unless there's any other questions, I can proceed with that regard. I can come back with a Terracon proposal for the jail and a structured Thornton Tomasetti investigation for the structural repair and structural evaluation for the expansion. And in consultation with them, if there's other trades or other sub-consultants that they would need to engage, then I'll find out and I'll bring that back to you all as well.
Any other discussion?
Judge, you want to set this to not to exceed $10,000 to start?
That's what the agenda item reads.
I move that the Chapman firm for the management coordination of professional services related to the foundation repairs of the Karnes County Jail located at 500 East Wall Street, Karnes City, Texas, 78118, at a cost not to exceed $10,000.
I'll second.
Okay, you've got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Anybody opposed? No. Motion carries. Item number 18, discuss, approve, disapprove, Karnes County Annex Review. Preliminary findings from Thornton and Tomasetti, structural engineer, and the performances of limited scope geotechnical testing for design of repairs. Presentation of additional estimates for engineering and legal for completion of design and contractor procurement, estimated costs, and not to exceed extensions of professional service agreements with Thornton Tomasetti and the Chapman firm.
Again, court, judge and court, the Tomasetti firm, Thornton Tomasetti went in and did a evaluation of the annex. They've created a 190-something page report, and page 8 of that report was pretty much a summary of what further work, scope of work would need to be done. So, Mr. Chapman, you want to?
Sure. So Thornton Tomasetti went out and did an initial inspection, surveyed the visible damage at the annex building. They then installed piezometers and other data to evaluate the movement of the structure. And they've graphically created a visual representation of that movement. And what they found is that the majority, well, they found one, the building is moving and the foundation is settling. So it confirms the cracks in the drywall and the other water intrusion issues we're seeing there are real and are caused by a structural stress and foundation issue. They found that the majority of the movement is along the south, east, and west sides of the building. The north side of the building is not moving significantly and doesn't currently require repair. But in order to evaluate the repair methodology that will be most effective for the building, Thornton Tomasetti has come back to us and recommended that we have an additional geotechnical analysis done, very limited in nature for this. They would like the geotech firm, and I've contacted Terracon, who did the original work back in '08, to come out and put borings at each of the 4 sides of the building to confirm soil conditions and measure the water table and the saturation of the soils. From the report, it appears that Thornton Tomasetti is identifying the additional saturation of the soils and the saturation of the direction of the drainage towards the building on at least the south side as part of the reason for the movement of the structure itself. And so what they want to evaluate is and they say long-term, and I don't really know what they mean by that, but not in sight present today, but probably several months of evaluation to measure the fluctuation of the groundwater to determine whether a pressure grout injection methodology or the placement of micropiles or other foundation repair methodologies would be the most appropriate for this building. The geotechnical analysis will help them do that so that they can come forward to the county with the appropriate repair methodology, and then we can have that priced by a contractor to actually perform the work and fix the building. They don't want to presume that one method is better than another until they understand the water table and the geotechnical characteristics of the soil right now. The other recommendation they're making is when we do the foundation repairs, we do some civil drainage work to further push water away from the structure to prevent the soils beneath the structure from maintaining the moisture content they currently have, which isn't sufficiently strong to hold up the building. So that's kind of where they are. I was hoping to be able to present to y'all an estimate and a proposal from Terracon to do that work today, but despite pressing Terracon to provide us that, we've been told they have a backlog on proposals and would not be able to get me something today in time for this meeting. So if y'all approve going forward, obviously we're going to want to know how much that's going to cost before we sign an agreement to do so. So I can get that from Terracon and build that into the subsequent presentation for the jail and come back and let y'all know exactly what they need as far as dollars go, and also the time frame for how long they expect to keep those piezometers, which measure the fluctuation of water in the ground, how long they expect to need those for observation before we get to the point where we can begin working towards putting together a design program from Thornton Tomasetti. The other thing that I can commit to you that I will try to do before I come back here is have a proposal for the next phase of the design work from Thornton Tomasetti, which, as you may recall, engaged Thornton Tomasetti for the evaluation. We limited their proposal to the evaluative effort because they had terms in the agreement limiting their liability based on the cost of the fee. Because they weren't doing design work per se, we were comfortable with a lower limitation of liability. It's a conversation we had in my presentation I came down here a few months ago about, in order to get that design phase going, we need to go back to Thornton Tomasetti and make sure they're willing to meet terms and provide insurance sufficient to cover their design obligation for us. So I will come back with a proposal for the next phase once I have a better understanding from them what they need from the geotech, how long they need to evaluate it, and then how long their design phase will take. So hopefully I'll be able to provide that information to you next time, but I feel like their initial work has identified the source of the movement. We're just trying to, and the cause of the movement, we're just trying to figure out now the best way to solve the problem. So that's kind of where we are with the annex.
How much money have didn't we have, we've had bores done already? We have. Yes, we have. Yeah. Right. Right. We need all those reports. I mean, we've already spent money with them. Okay.
I have estimates.
You have all those?
I have estimates from those two firms, but those two firms use that data to create their estimate and their repair plan without any kind of engineering.
Okay.
And so that's the reason that we originally began the process with Thornton Tomasetti, was to have the additional engineering done.
Good.
And the estimates from Olshan and the other company don't provide the boring data from those test holes.
They don't provide
They
the
do not.
data?
What we
Okay.
need is a geotech to tell us the different soil characteristics at each strata and also the level of the groundwater, because as Renee said, when you poke a hole in the ground around the annex, water fills it up.
Oh, I know.
So we've got to find a way to identify the persistent presence of that water, and then Thornton Tomasetti needs to know whether a pressure grout system will work or not. The micropiles may not be appropriate for heavily saturated soil, which is their concern.
Very good.
So the other thing I wanted to address is with respect to my firm's work, we have the $10,000 not to exceed amount for the annex as well. As of this morning, we're at about $9,000, just under $9,000 billed in the last year, going back to last June when I first got a call on this project. So I would need another authorization for an additional $10,000 in capacity to continue with this next phase of the work.
And the agenda item reads estimated costs and not to exceed extension of professional service agreements with Thornton Tomasetti and the Chapman firm. We don't have a number on that.
We don't have a number for Thornton Tomasetti, but for me, it would be another not to exceed 10,000 before I come back to you and let you know where we are.
Okay, we're gonna have to do that on another meeting. I mean, it's not listed. I mean, I'm all for it, but, you know.
We'll have to do another meeting with this, Judge.
Yeah.
Another agenda item, correct?
To establish that money for
The
Mr.
amount.
Chapman and the firm. Yeah.
So in 2 weeks?
We can call a meeting next week if we need to.
Okay.
I can let y'all know as soon as I hear back from, I think I'll hear back from Terracon, if not today, then tomorrow.
Okay.
I pushed them pretty hard to get it for yesterday, and they just didn't meet the deadline.
No,
but-
I can call a special meeting for even, what's today, Tuesday, or Friday.
Yeah. For your next 10,000.
What?
For next 10,000,
If
yeah.
it's just that one agenda item, then Shelby can do it. So we'll set that. Okay, item number 18, we won't do any
So that will be
action on.
when?
We're gonna set it for Friday, as soon as I can.
Okay.
Okay.
All right,
Y'all good for me?
yep, thank you, Mr. Chapman. Item number 19, consent agenda. We have reports from Justice of the Peace, Precinct 1, JP Precinct 2, Human Resources, the IT Department, Maintenance, Sheriff's Office, KXDMV report, and KCRB report. There's also the budget amendment, BA 2023-24, Road and Bridge Fund, $220,941.61.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented, A, the reports, and B, the budget amendments.
Okay, got a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda as presented. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Anybody opposed? Item number 21, let's have our updates from our commissioners, starting with Precinct 1.
Since this drought has started to hit us hard, we're starting to have more grass fires within the county. And all the fire departments have been tag teaming it together and so far they've been very successful in limiting what damaged and haven't lost any structures. I want to remind everybody too that schools is starting, as you've heard the judge say earlier, and school buses are operating. Please stop for the school buses loading or unloading. If they have their lights on, that means stop. Don't try to go around them, because if you do, you may have an issue with the sheriff's department.
Or worse.
Or worse. And do not pass buses when the lights are flashing.
And if you see somebody do that, please get a license plate number and report that.
Texas Department of Emergency Management has sent me an email the other day. They have now a warehouse in San Antonio, and it is a huge, huge warehouse. It is full of masks, gloves, COVID test kits, and some other supplies. Any department medical group or even Chamber of Commerce, if you feel you need some supplies like that, we need to submit a STAR request to the state of Texas Asset Requisition Form, and they will bring it down here. But I need to know, have a good idea how many you would need or what you would need. And then, I'll submit it to the state and we'll get it down here. August the 14th, Jimmy Lopez, our IT guy, are gonna go to DeWitt County. The broadband is having their statewide meeting. They've been going around different counties in the state, trying to get information from people. So, I'm gonna be going to DeWitt County and we're gonna see what they have to offer and then what counties need to do to continue working on broadband. September 12th, I need to go to Gonzales. There's gonna be a National Weather Service has come up with a new product and they wanna it's called a river flood forecast to include mapping. You should be able to, once they get it going, you'll be able to, just go on the National Weather site and access the map. And it'll be a helpful tool for those that have cattle along the river as well as structures. Food bank yesterday, I appreciate everybody coming out and working like they did. We had some good support. I spoke with the food bank also the other day with a representative on the phone about the quality of food, mainly the produce. We talked for about 30 minutes. He also spoke with Michelle, and I think we may have that type of problem taken care of. Of course, they seem to change the rules every time you look around.
It was much better quality yesterday, though, correct?
Yes, sir. Very good. And also, I want to recognize the Marvin Whitty family. They, with our little fan drive, Marla and Lana came in the other day and they bought us 15 fans. And we've got some fans now we can start passing out. I understand I'm getting some more fans from another organization, hopefully this week. Again, the elderly that really need assistance will be first, as well as a single parent if they don't have any type of air conditioning or something. We'll try to take care of them. And I'm gonna thank the Wesley nurses also for what they've been doing. That's all I have, Judge.
Thank you. Commissioner Precinct 2.
Well, first, we'd like to thank all of our county employees for all the hard work that they do. We had a lot of calls about burn ban. I'm sure the rest of the commissioners, probably Judge, you have too, and got a call this morning about 2:10, I guess, as I'm putting a location in there that the oil field is tearing up. Gonna have to look at that this evening. Let's see, we've had numerous calls about oil field traffic, speeding on county roads, and a lot of trash, and just everybody be safe. It's hot. It's gonna stay hot for a while, it looks like, so watch out for school buses. Everybody have a good school year. That's it.
Judge, tell them about the 23 tons.
The what? Oh, the 23 tons?
Yeah.
That roll of sheet metal that we had fall off of that truck, that last week, I think?
Yes.
Yeah, 23 ton, a roll of sheet metal, 23 tons. That came off the back and, tore in the asphalt. It was, it's scary, and that's scary. If that would've happened at night, somebody behind that truck at the time that it happened, 23 tons is stopping whatever you're driving and I'm driving, I promise. All right, Commissioner Precinct 3.
Answered all my calls, as good as possible, met with a couple of constituents, had several phone calls with Commissioner Chu regarding the budget. Also met with our county engineer regarding the upcoming county road projects.
Thank you. Commissioner Precinct 4.
I also I've been visiting with the other folks on the budget. I'm trying to get my hands wrapped around it. Attended a budget workshop. It was very informative. I've been currently working on the MOU and some other projects with other sources within the county. Commissioner Lissy and I and Ms. Jordan visited with senior advisor for the state rep and discussed just current affairs in our county to ask for some needed assistance they could throw away. And then as well, also addressed several issues and concerns, provided some help and direction for several constituents.
Thank you. All right, item number 22, we'll have a report from our tax assessor collector today. Amy?
Good morning. How is everybody this morning? For the county M&O, this year for the month of July, we collected, for the current M&O, it was $63,691.97. The current year-to-date for the month of July was $17,094,907.52, with 99.27% collected. The delinquents for the same time period was $18,656.19. The delinquent year-to-date was $131,531.30, with 35.19% collected. Last year at the same time period, we had collected 98.79, so we were above that, but I was just texting Amy up in P&A. Today, we're down to 98.52% collected, and we're trying to find out why. I know she gave me yesterday a new mineral load. I've got 313 pages of statements to mail out, so that's probably why we went down, because that increased the volume. I'm waiting on her to give me the amount, because I texted her and I said, I need to know exactly how much all those statements came to. But I'm thinking that's why we went down. For the INS for July, the delinquent month to date was $421.23. The delinquent tax year to date was $2,083.93, with 40.76% collected. On the road and bridge for the month of July, the current month to date was $12,981.61. The current year to date was $3,493,346.48, with 99.27% collected. The delinquent month to date was $3,715.27, and the delinquent year to date was $26,059.11, with 36.47% collected. And I felt my cell phone. Let me see if it's Amy. No, it's not, somebody else. Because I'm wondering how much those statements were. I did go through, I was looking at them on my email, and one alone was like 99,000, and that was to one of the oil companies. So it was, they do every month they do mineral loads, so it makes the volume go up. So that's probably why we went down a little bit. Once those statements go out, they have until July to pay them with no penalties and interest. Penalties and interest will start, they have until September to pay them with no penalties and interest. So I'm sure the majority of them are going to get them paid, so they don't have to pay penalties and interest. So it should be looking pretty good next month, with the collection rates. They shouldn't be down again.
Good. Thank you, Tammy. Item number 23, discussion/acknowledgement of personnel changes in all the departments. We have a couple of new hires, one in Road and Bridge, Justin Villanueva and Shaylee Hyatt in the Sheriff's Office, and we also had a resignation in EMS. Item number 24, payment of bills.
Okay, Court, our total bills for today are $969,196.69. The general fund's $52,538.85, and the only out of the ordinary amount we're paying HEB for Chapter 381. I'm not sure, Tammy, how many years was that? Right. It's like in tax, so we're on the last year of this next budget year. Yeah, so this amount was $45,763.65. We did budget that additional 41 in this year's budget, so that will carry over to next year. On the road and bridge, the total of their bills for today, the regular road and bridge is $504,440.89, and the special road and bridge is $273,975.78. And we do have the descriptions on each of the line items, so you can see on like the emergency projects and so forth that Wayne's working on, what roads that pertains to.
Make the motion to pay the bills as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, there's motion and a second. All those in favor of paying the bills signify by raising your right hand. Anybody opposed? No. Item number 25, acknowledge that the Commissioners Court will reconvene to hold a special meeting / budget workshop on August 8th, 2023 at 1:30 in the Karnes County Historic Courtroom located at 101 North Panna Maria Avenue, Suite 200, Karnes City, Texas, 78118. I know that there's lots of folks that want to come to this, but we will be broadcasting it live, so all of y'all can be watching that on Facebook and all of the social media opportunities that are out there. See what's going on with your money. Item number 26, need a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.